Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video we are going to be doing another spring inspired manicure. This time I feel like this one is a little bit more advanced if you haven't done this technique before. So let's get started. I'm going to start with Holo Peely Base, and you can use whichever you prefer. Okay, and this week we are using pastels once again, so I'm just going to do a quick coat of Enduring by LA Colors. This time I'm not going to make sure that it's a thick coat because the gradient will cover it up for the most part. So we don't have to make it like super opaque. The next thing that we were going to do is protect around our nails. I'm using my Queen liquid latex. Okay, the next thing we do is decide which way you want to use your sponge. This is the kind of sponge I have. I get a bag of them at the drugstore for a couple of dollars, if that. I'm going to be using this flat side right here, just so I can easily see where I'm putting the color. Okay, the colors that we're going to be using for the gradient we saw last week. This is Factory Girl by Color Club. And then we've got the green from Broadway Nails that has no name. And what we are going to do is, without touching our fingers together, because they will stick together, we're going to hold it. Remember how I said make sure you know how you're going to hold your sponge. And the blue is going to go on the top of the nail towards the cuticle, and the green is going to be towards the tip of the nail where the free edge is. This is going to take a couple of goes. My green is a little bit more thick compared to my blue, so and then you just sponge that gradient on. This is going to take a couple of coats to get opaque. Be sure to let each layer dry. I don't think it doesn't really have to be completely dry, but it does help to have it a little dry in between each layer. And depending on how much polish you load onto your sponge, you can usually get 2 to 3 nails. But you're just going to continue this process until your gradient is opaque to the way you want it to be. Once you get your last layer of gradient on, you can go ahead and peel off your latex. You can do it as you're doing the last round of gradient, or you can do what I'm doing and just do it all at the end. It doesn't really matter. It may be easier to take off while the polish is still like super wet on it, but honestly, as long as it comes off and there's very little mess to take care of, I'm not going to be too worried about it. as you can see, the gradient looks a lot smoother now. I went ahead and did a coat of Super Glossy Taco by Holo Taco. And while we were waiting for this to completely dry, we are going to get some striping tape ready. And I just have mine in a Scotch tape little container. You just pop it open, take the old tape out, put your striping tape in. As you can see, I've got a lot in here. Only a couple of them are started though. And they're all basically the same width. None of them are bigger, really smaller or anything. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get us a couple of pieces of this ready. If you know how many are you going to use, I would get that many plus a few, just in case, you know, something were to happen, they get folded up weird, or you drop them in the floor, you've got extras. So we're just going to take a bottle of polish we no longer need. I no longer need enduring. Or you could go ahead and do this before you start your manicure and just grab a bottle of polish that you are zoom you out for this, or you can just use a bottle of polish that you don't need at all for your manicure. And what I'm doing is very simple. I'm just pulling some out, taking some little scissors, cutting it, placing it on my bottle lid. That's all it is. There's no rhyme or reason on how long I'm making these. I just know that I am doing my pinky nail, my ring fingernail, and also, doing my pinky nail, my pointer nail, and my thumb with 3 of these each. So I'll need 9, but we'll do a couple extra, like I said, just for whatever the case may be. Alright, once you've got all of your striping tape ready, you can do this with tweezers. You can do this with your hands, whichever was easiest for you. I like to use my hands most of the time because I always make them long enough to where I've got a lot of overhang on each side. But just whatever you prefer. And as I said, we're doing this I'm personally going to do this on my pinky, my pointer, and my thumb. You can do whichever ones you want to do. You can do all of them. You can do a few of them and have this be your accent nail. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one down the middle, and then I'm going to put one on either side. That is not quite the middle. If you put the layer of top coat, you can put down quite a good bit. It acts as a barrier between your previous gradient and your striping tape. So hopefully your striping tape doesn't pull up all the hard work you just put into your gradient. But yeah, we're gonna apply these. I'm doing 3 lines of striping tape. You can do however many you want. I'm applying the striping tape, and then I'm going to go around the nails with my liquid latex again, just so cleanup is not such a big deal. Alright, once you have your strapping tape applied and your protection also, the reason I did latex after the strapping tape is because if the strapping tape would have got onto the liquid latex before I was ready for it to. It would have stuck and pulled it up, and then it would just be in a mess. So it's just easier for me personally to do the striping tape first. I don't currently have a pair of scissors with me to be able to do this, but if you want, you can just take some scissors and cut this top part off to give you a fresh sponge. I will do that next time I need a sponge for another nail art, but for this video I'm just gonna get a new sponge. And what we're about to do is called a reciprocal gradient. Instead of having the blue at the top and the green at the bottom, we're gonna have the green at the top and the blue at the bottom, and it's just going to create this really cool effect. This is one of my favorite gradient techniques. So we're just going to add our colors in the opposite order. And like I said, my green is a lot more thick than my blue, so it's going to be a little bit harder for the blue to cover the green, but the green is going to get the blue covered probably instantly. So we're just going to make sure gradient is reversed. You can see there that they are opposite. And what we're going to do is we're just going to carefully stamp this gradient over the previous one. And as like before, as many times as you need to do this to make it the way that you want it to, that is all up to your personal preference. Alright, on this last layer, as we get finished adding the color, I'm going to go ahead and take off the striping tape and the liquid latex. Since we're using striping tape on these nails now, it would be easier to go ahead and take it off while the nail is still very wet. So you're just going to get that on there, and then I like when they all clump together. I can just grab all three very gently. Sometimes they all come up, sometimes they don't. It's okay if they don't. Just be very careful. Alright, now that we got that one cleaned off, I'm going to go back to my sponge, get these other ones complete, and then we'll be back. And if you need to do a little bit of cleanup, don't worry. If you did the layer of top coat before you did the striping tape, it won't hurt to do just a little bit of cleanup in the lines if you need to, like right here at the tip. Just gonna gently, ever so gently, just go around, do that where I need to, try not to overdo it, that sort of thing. Alright, our next step is the stamping that we're going to do on the other two nails. If you want, you can freehand these. If you don't have a stamp that you really like, or if you don't have any stamps at all, you can freehand these, no problem. We are using this plate right here. It's the Two Joy #1 plate. I don't know if they have any more. I got this probably off of Amazon. It's just called Two Joy, and it has cutest little fox and design on the front, although there are no foxes on the actual plate. We are going to be using this flower design right here. I'm calling them daisies. Whether that's actually what they're called or not, I don't know. But we are going to be using this white stamping polish from Queen. It is called Pure White. And as usual, if I can open this, there we go. And as usual, I've got a scraper and a stamper ready. And these nails are very dry since we did all the other on the other nails, so we are ready to go. I'm using white, so the flowers are already white, and I don't have to worry about changing the color of them or anything. I'm just doing these two on the corner or on the side right here. Going to pick them up. It's okay if there's a little bit of where the polish didn't come up. I'm not too worried about it. Adds to the character, if you will. And then you're just going to line it up, stamp it down, just like that. Alright, now what we're going to do is I'm taking Miss Crawley Chick from the Morgan Taylor and Sing 2 collaboration. I did a swatch video of this. If you are interested in it, I will link it up in the cards. I'm just going to take a little bit of this, drop it out on my lid. Don't need a lot. All I'm doing with this is taking a nail art brush. Well, technically it's a craft brush, but we're using it as a nail art brush. And I'm just going to cover these stems so that they are this darker green. Looking at it now, the stems would have been fine white, but you know, just in case somebody out there wanted to spruce it up just a little bit, all options are, of course, great. I'm going to be using a little bit of Holo Tacos. This is well, there it goes, the Scattered Holo Taco. This is the only Holo Taco that I have of that collection. I am so sorry. And then once we have this applied to these two nails, I'm going to take the end of my brush that I used for the stems. Honestly, I'm just going to lick the end of it. For being honest here, I'm going to lick the end of it. Pick up one of these rhinestones that I set out, and I'm going to put them in the middle of the flowers, just adding a little bit of bling along with the Holo Taco. Alright guys, and this is the finished design. On these two nails, if you didn't want to do the color of the stems and you didn't want to do the rhinestones or the scattered hollow taco, just the flowers by themselves would be beautiful. And if you don't want to do the rhinestones, you can just do like a dot of yellow in the centers, or you can just, like I said, leave them plain. It's completely up to you. I really like the blinged out look of them. But anyway, I do hope you enjoyed. Somewhere during the video, I will try to remember to post in the cards up here the last time I did reciprocal gradient. That was very beautiful. I recommend checking it out if you like the reciprocal gradient look. And with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. Hit the like button and the subscribe button as well, and if you will, ring that bell so you never miss a future video. I will see you guys next week at on Wednesday at 10, or on Wednesday at 12 p.m. Noon Central Daylight Time, and I hope to see you then. Bye guys.